All right, be human. Yes, the title of this is literally Be Human, and here's why. I felt the need to share this perspective with you because so many times have I seen other agency owners forget this fundamental aspect. And I say fundamental because without this in your business foundational structure, it will become so much harder for your ideal customers to know, like, and trust you enough to do business with you. So what do I mean about being human? So think of the last time you went somewhere and received like spectacular service, right? Maybe you went to a restaurant and the food was just amazing. It was incredible. The waiter or waitress was, above and beyond, and the bill surprisingly was not outrageous for the quality of service that made this experience as spectacular as it was. So all of this was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I've actually had an experience like this with a restaurant, so this is a perfect example. So I was thinking about it, and I ultimately realized that all of those elements that I enjoyed come from a place of pride. This establishment more than likely predetermined the type of experience that they wanted their customers to have with the good food, the great service, and the affordable prices, right? So all of that was like predetermined in order to keep their customers coming back, and maybe they would even refer their friends and family to come check it out. Now, let's imagine the food was outstanding, but the service was worse than terrible, right? You waited for over an hour to get your table, and then you waited another hour before your food actually arrived, and then your waiter totally forgot that you had ordered another round of drinks. They only checked in with you maybe every half an hour, maybe once, right? And there's a freaking hair in your water, right? You get the point. All without someone apologizing for this experience, right? This was the experience you're having, and no one seemed to really acknowledge it. It's almost as if they were just treating you as if you were just a butt in the seat instead of a person with needs and desires, right? You're there to have a good experience. You're there to have some good food, have some good service, and not have to worry about cooking and leaving a mess in the kitchen. You want to have someone else do that. And this is the experience, right? But they're not really checking in with you and asking how the service was or anything like that. They're just saying, cool, here you go, your job is done. And in all actuality, sure, here's your meal, here's your water, here's your, your drinks, here's your bill. Pretty standard. That's usually what happens when you're at a restaurant. But the service is really what keeps people coming back. Now, would you go back to that establishment if this was your experience? Probably not, right? So how does this actually translate into an agency life? I'm so glad that you asked. You can't treat your clients or even prospects as if they're just another number on your clientele sheet, right? You can't just leave them hanging without communication of what's actually going on, what's actually happening. And here's a pro tip for you. It's usually the silent clients that become the most problematic later on. So beware of that. Communication, always. You have to speak to them with complete transparency and honesty, regardless of whether it's good or bad. So if you're trying to constantly cover up, the bad with excuses, they'll eventually catch on. People are not dumb, right? So be honest with them. Let them know that, hey, the results are, not quite there where we'd like them to be at this point, but it has my full attention as you test out the other variables, right, to bring those results. The point is, if you treat people the way that you would like to be treated, to the best of your abilities, right, you will always have a list of people that are ready to come back for more services, and they'll probably refer other people to you as well. This means clear and concise communication with them on an ongoing basis, right? You gotta give them something they can expect from you. The number one reason why people get upset and leave is because they feel like they're not heard and understood, right? Don't forget that they may know you, they may still like you, but it doesn't mean that trust can't still be broken if not monitored correctly. Remember, people always have their best interest in mind, not yours. Your clients will be no different than the pissed off person in the hypothetical restaurant story with a terrible service that I mentioned earlier, right? It's all about them, not you. And it's not always personally towards you. I want to make that very clear. So you really got to develop a strong mindset when it comes to taking things personally if you do, right? It's business. You promise them results, and it's your responsibility to stand by that promise and deliver it to them. Right? So don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves until you actually make those results happen for them. And always, always, always remember the point of this entire lesson is to never leave out the human element in your agency. I'll see you in the next lesson.